Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of uh, Happy with Sam YouTube Live. And today's topic is something that I recently had an experience of. And I just thought it would be nice to share my views, my thoughts on this particular topic. The topic is very simple. It's what happened versus our interpretation of what happened. This is something which I experienced when I was doing Landmark Forum, if I'm not wrong. This was one of the topics that was discussed, and the facilitator started off with the story. The story based on what we feel within, what happened actually in the past versus the story that we have built about that in our minds. Simple thing, a simple example I can give is, say somebody shouted at me. They just, or they didn't even shout. Probably they just said something in a tone that I didn't like. They were like, "Hey, why did you do this?" That's what. So if someone asks what happened, the truth is he asked me, "Why did you do this?" That's all. So if we go by actual happening, if we need to describe what happened, it's as simple as, "Hey, what happened?" But now what that person told is a simple sentence or a simple question, asked is a simple question. How do I interpret that in my mind? That becomes very critical because this is where a lot of stories get built within us. What starts off as a small incident, because of the way we process it, it becomes kind of good or it becomes dangerous as well. How it can become dangerous, a simple example can be somebody asked me, "Why did you do this?" And my thought process is what happened versus my story of what happened. My story will be he shouted at me, he abused me, he ill treated me, he humiliated me, he made me feel bad. These are all the stories we build. Probably that person had no intention. That person didn't even think of anything. That person was chilled out in life. But we, on the other hand, took it and processed it in our own way. Now, there may be many reasons for this. There is no single one reason for this, but definitely a lot of process happens. And because of this, what is it that's happening within us? There's a lot of challenge we face. There's a lot of heaviness we face. Of course, it's not always a negative story we build. Sometimes we build a positive story as well. Maybe the person just casually told something and we take it as a compliment. We feel very nice the entire day. We keep feeling good about ourselves. That's the other side of it. But by and large, the story that we build in our mind is not a good one. It's always something which is detrimental to us, something that's gonna hurt us, that's gonna make us feel very bad. And this is a standard thing that we experience. So it's very important to take the past happening as a proper happening, not build a story around it. And because of the stories that we build, they sometimes tend to become very deep beliefs within us. Like my father just shouted at me when I was a kid. Honestly speaking, my father asked me, "Where did you go? Why did you do this?" And that stays in my mind as my father is angry, my father is arrogant, my father is rude. Of course, as kids, we can't expect ourselves to be very mature and understand these things. But then as we grow up, there are many things for which we start building stories which actually affect us a lot. Like simple example which I've seen people experiences. Uh, my girlfriend didn't message me. Okay. Simple fact is I didn't receive a message. It's not even she didn't message me. It's I didn't receive a message. And what is the story I start thinking? Oh, maybe she doesn't like me. She doesn't love me. She hates me. Did I do anything wrong? Did I make her feel bad? Or is she cheating on me? So many things come up in our mind. And because we don't clarify the story, the story remains in our mind as something which doesn't have a truth attached to it, but the heaviness is too much. And slowly over a period of time, such things keep adding within us again and again and again. And it piles up to such an extent, one incident later, everything falls down, everything gets destroyed because of the impression that we have left within us, the stories that we have built. And that's probably a very dangerous thing in life. In fact, I was just remembering one of my mentors who told this to me. He says, take things at face value. Start taking things at face value. What are we gaining but trying to understand the deeper meaning of something that was told to us? Say, we ask someone, how are you doing? And they say, hey, I'm doing fine. Why do we have to go deep to understand what's happening in his life? Maybe he genuinely told, hey, I'm fine. But we sit and think like, oh, he's hiding something from me. He should have told this. Why is he not telling? And this desperation, this story that we build might actually cause something wrong or bad to happen. It might actually change the way we interact with that person, which actually results in a lot of damage. So there are so many things, so many nuances to this one single aspect of what happened versus the story that I build about what happened. And this is something to be really careful about, to look out for. Simple example, morning I go and I talk to my mom. I ask my mom, hey, I want this. Probably she's in a very bad mood. She had a quarrel or she's feeling low about something and she doesn't respond properly. Immediately I start building stories. Why is she doing like this? What is wrong with her? If I ask her, that's a different story. Maybe sometimes I don't even ask her. I just assume 100 things. Either it may be negative or it may be like something which I am feeling bad about. But end of the day, I end up losing my peace of mind. So it's very, very important to observe and to look at situations, incidents of the past as just what happened. Even the language that we use to communicate, this aspect, this parameter is very, very important. If we don't use the right language, again, it's gonna mess it up. Like instead of telling, he shouted at me, I can simply tell, he told me. Because telling is also, sorry, shouting is also a part of telling. But I don't have to categorize that telling as shouting. Because in reality, even if somebody shouts, he's actually telling something. Shout is just the intensity of telling. It's not a substitute for telling. So I can just say, he told me something. He asked me something. As simple as that. And if we keep our what happened in the past limited to exact, simple communication sentences, I think we avoid a lot of heartbreak and misunderstanding in life. Uh, this is one thing I just wanted to share. This has been very close to me. So just thought, let me share my thoughts on this. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. It was really a joy sharing a few thoughts of mine. Until we meet again, see you. Take care. Thank you. Love you. And bye bye.